I once wrote a book in 2010, and the title of the book is God and Nigerians. It's on Amazon. You can Google it. It's on Amazon. God and Nigerians. In one of the chapters of that book, I attempted to choose the greatest Nigerian ever. After a tedious process using 4 objective criteria. Number 1, impact of these men, whatever they did, accessibility of whatever they did, durability of whatever they did. I ended up with a 5-man shortlist of 4 academics and 1 performing artist. Now, the academics, the 4 of them are Professors Wole Soyinka, Chinua Achebe, number 3, Taslim Elias, and Professor Umaru Shehu. And then the lone artist, of course, Fela Anikulapo Kuti. After another rigorous process, I finally settled for Fela Anikulapo Kuti as my own greatest Nigerian ever. Let me share a personal story of Fela's impact, which transcended Nigeria and Africa. In 2004, I traveled to Zurich in faraway Switzerland on a vacation, just a 7 days vacation. Now, 2004 and now is so the gap in terms of financial services, the adaptation or the evolution of technology and the role it plays in finance, is so huge. It's transformational. Then you either went with cash, you had a bank there where you could withdraw. If you run out of cash, you're on your own. And so it happened to me. I ran out of cash because I missed my return flight back to Nigeria. So I was stranded at the airport. What did I do? I went back to the hotel where I'd stayed for the past 6 days. So I spoke to the manager of the hotel, a lady who allowed me to stay. So I made calls. But before she even, allowed me to stay, she'd been seeing me coming to the restaurant to have breakfast and all of that, and come in and go out. So she asked me where was I from. I said I was a Nigerian. She said, "Oh, I'm from the same country as Fela." I said, "Yes." I got interested. My ears stood up. So I started. I said, "In fact, not just that, I'm Fela's, compatriots as a Nigerian. In fact, we're from the same place," which is a fact. I'm an Abeokuta man. Fela is an Abeokuta man. And of course, she regaled me of stories when Fela came to, Zurich on a tour, and how she fell in love with him. And you know what? This lady gave me free hotel, for 2 days before I could get funds from Nigeria and return to Nigeria. Fela was a great Nigerian. His music had global impact. In Nigeria, when Fela died, you needed to have seen the horde, thousands of Nigerian masses that trooped out on the streets of Lagos. I was in Lagos there, for his final burial rites, because Fela's music had mass appeal. It was widely accepted by everybody. You didn't need to have, a PhD in English, like Professor Wole Soyinka, to understand Fela's music. But why did I raise this? In the coming days, and 14 years later, after I wrote this book and it's published, I will do a second edition of this book, and Alhaji Aliko Dangote shall be nominated by me as my greatest Nigerian ever. While the 3 critical building blocks of great nations have utterly failed Nigeria, that is politicians, the military, and the intellectual class, what remains, and our 7th grace, appears to be daring entrepreneurs and innovators like Aliko Dangote, Femi Otedola, Mr. Innocent Chukwuma, that's Innocent Motors, Abdul Samad Rabiu, that's Boa Group of Companies, Cletus Ibeto of the Beto Group, Razak Okoya of the Eleganza Group, etc. I imagine, if our politicians deliberately encourage and support 10 of these to attain 50 billion capitalization or valuation like Aliko by 2034, our economy would have attained 2.5 trillion GDP in the next 10 years, which is doable if we had leadership that had foresight, that is patriotic, and is thinking about the common good and not about mundane, issues like cars and mansions, and power for the sake of power, So, as I conclude, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, this is coming directly on your doorstep. Can you please do a thorough house cleaning of the NNPC? Some say you have kept the top management, of that opaque and egregiously incompetent and corrupt institution, that you have kept them, for selfish reasons. I don't think so. I choose to give you the benefit of the doubt. Mr. President, clean this audience table now. Please, I beg of you, clean the audience table that is NNPC now. Today, Aliko Dangote is our most valuable national asset. I stand to be corrected. Nobody, living or dead, has done anything even remotely close to building a great and prosperous Nigeria. Therefore, everything must be done to encourage him and others to continue investing in our economy, including tax holidays, duty waivers, etc. Also, publicly declare, Mr. President, that politically exposed persons who have millions of our monies, millions of dollars of our resources stolen and stashed abroad, they can bring this, they can repatriate this to Nigeria with no consequence, negative consequence from the government, insofar as these repatriated funds are invested in the real sector, not in hotels, because that's the crazy thing we do. You know, you steal money, you build hotels. For what? To do short time or to do what? In the real sector, manufacturing. That is the real sector. So every politically exposed person who have stolen money and they have kept them in their sockaways, in the whatever, you know, in their farms or abroad, bring the money out, invest in manufacturing, and we'll close our nostrils and allow you to go. We'll draw the line under that. You know, that is the way to go, Mr. President. And I want to thank you in advance that you take this advice. And that's the end of the program today. Like all